Yeah, that was the one. Wait, I can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you. All right, they said people are saying no sound.
Now, do you hear me now?
Go. There we go.
You hear me? All right.
Yeah, I got you now. I sounded like I guess it was people could hear me, but they couldn't hear you.
Yeah. There was some. There's a. Anyway, doesn't matter. We
Yeah.
don't. Let's. So we're blaming Geechee.
It's
I
totally
just wanted to
Geechee's
make
fault.
sure that was really my point. That's what I was trying to say. Because I don't know how else would that have happened. So again, unless it was the Nancy Pelosi Van Jones collaboration or collective that did that, but I think it was Geechee. So
That was
all right,
hysterical. All right, so the death penalty.
wait a minute, I had it pulled up. Is this the spreadsheet? Yeah. All right. Let me pull
So
up spreadsheet. There we go.
so this is what happens to me, just so people know that I will start looking at one thing and then completely fall down the rabbit hole. Now, I have no idea if any of this information is actually going to be useful to anybody. But me in my own like curiosity, right? Because I was just curious. So there are 40 people on that were awaiting the death penalty in a federal prison, right? Of the 40, 37 were commuted by Biden in December. Those 37, are who is on this list, right? The 3 who did not get commuted were the kid that shot up the church, the black church, the kid that
Dylan Roof. Yeah.
Dylan Ruth, the kid who shot up the Jewish church, and the Boston Marathon bomber brother or whatever. So those 3 are still on the death penalty. I want to state for the record that I do not support like state sanctioned murder. So I'm not for the death penalty, no matter what the quote unquote crime was, right? So the 37 were commuted to life. So they're removed from the death penalty. So I got curious about these 37 people, mostly because what I was really thinking about was Leonard Peltier, right? Now, he is not, he's doing a life sentence, correct? And so,
yes.
So he's not, he's not awaiting the death penalty. But I was just thinking about who was commuted to life, who's now going to serve the same sentence as him, who didn't do anything, right? And what is like, how does this work? Like, how does this track? So I started looking, and again, like I honestly, y'all, like you might end up mad at me. Like, this is what you spent like hours looking at. And so I went through each person and looked up like articles, and for some folks, there's articles that are, allowed. Here's some interesting things that I discovered. I discovered that a lot of people are serving a death penalty because they killed somebody who they were in prison with. Oh, right? Wow. Like, there's some folks on this list who are literally death penalty because while they were serving whatever previous sentence they were serving, they killed someone else while they were in the prison. The first person on the list, interestingly enough, this Agofsky person was put in a prison fight cage at the SHU and killed the person he was fighting, right? Now this was completely sanctioned. This was completely sanctioned by the
Oh,
guards,
wow.
right? Like the guards were there. Hold on, mama. Mommy, go to the other stream. I'll call you when it's done. She just called. I know she was like, what just happened? So so the so and when you read the articles about what happened, like there was literally a cage fight, and it was something that they did on a regular basis, and he killed somebody in the process of fighting in this cage fight and got a death sentence, right?
Oh my. Oh, wow.
Right. Right. And based on what I wrote, like what I read, there was no, it wasn't like these were two people who were fighting and beefing. Like, okay. Um, the SHU, those special housing units, is mentioned a lot in the various articles with regard to these people. So that's something else that was a little mind blowing. I will admit that for people who like the charge in the chart, like whatever it read for what they did, like when I read the articles, like okay, they did it. Like I didn't really do too much more research. So, like if when I read the story, you actually went on like a killing spree and kidnapped a girl and you admitted to it and you're on death penalty, like I still don't support the death penalty, but I didn't go through too many like shakes to kind of do any more research, right? There are 2 Russians on the list, which I thought was very interesting. The other thing that was interesting is there are a lot of these people who were convicted with someone else who's also on this list. So as you scroll through, if it says convicted with a name, it is someone who is somewhere else on the spreadsheet. Okay, so if you go down to, it's going to be that Georgis Karamovas, right? So Georgis and the person in line 27, I think it's like
James Rome.
No, sorry, line 25, Mikkel, right?
Lori Mikkel.
Yes, was convicted with because they were kidnapping Russian immigrants who were living in LA. I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. They were kidnapping other Russian immigrants who were rich and living in LA for ransom money.
Oh, wow.
And so the 2 of them are serving a death penalty because of those actions.
Oh, and then they killed somebody in the furtherance of one of those crimes, which is an automatic.
Right.
Oh no, that's actually somebody else. I'm in the wrong line.
Right.
But it did. Oh, the hostage resulting in death, which is okay.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
Wow.
So right. And we want, I don't know if maybe we should come back to it next week. I don't know if it's of interest to people. So here we do in the chat. If you want us to really talk through this list of people who were commuted, you can let me know, but we can just share the spreadsheet.
Ronald Mikos killed a witness.
Yes.
To his
healthcare
fraud
scheme. Yes.
That seems drastic.
So that was drastic. Right. And then you have a lot of people who were drug dealers and, racketeering and all those things. There's some RICO charges that were also associated. There's a dude who is serving time because his sister like car bombed house or something, like bombed a house because they were trying to get rid of the competition. It was an interesting dive into the madness that is what happens with people, right? And I mean,
just scrolling what is alleged here, and to your point, in comparison to what Peltier is being held for, is
right.
Even if, and never mind the fact that there's no evidence that he did it,
right?
But even if that,
right,
no, it doesn't stack up. Like
it doesn't stack up.
I mean, this stuff is
right. And
Wow.
then there's some interesting people. There's Rajon Taylor, who's on here, who was serving a death penalty in Tennessee. He was involved in a carjacking. He was 18 years old. His claim was that the gun went off accidentally because he got like scared when the person he was trying to carjack like fought him, and the gun went off, and he got hit with, and he's been fighting it. There's also a New Orleans police officer who was caught up in all kinds of like criminal activity, who does not want the commute. He does not want his. He
said, "Let me get out of here."
He said because it's gonna mess with his case, right? Like he's gonna have a better chance of fighting his case if he stays on death row.
I thought he was saying, let the sentence be carried out and let me just get on up out of this life.
Yeah.
But okay, that's funny.
Yeah, so it's a lot. So I started with the list that the White House released, and then I kind of just went in and did a little more digging, each name one by one, just to see what additional information I could find. And so we can share it in the chat, and if people leave comments and say, yeah, let's go through it some more, we could bring it back next week. But I just thought it was interesting when you look at, Peltier, when you look at Steve Donziger, who he had also like pardoned complete. Like when you look at some of the folks that he is overlooking, that he took the time to look at these 37 people with some of the things on that list is wow. Is wow. Yeah. So y'all welcome. You wanted a spreadsheet, and it's a new year, so you got a spreadsheet.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wow. All right. Well, Renee, great job again this week. Thanks. Please, folks, go to the other video for the links in the show description. And we will end the show properly this time and on purpose. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe, do all the other things. Share the other video probably. I don't know how we should do this, but whatever, you know what to do. Peace if you're willing to fight for it, and we'll catch you next time right here with more Saturday with Renee.